Okay, so I am out of the shower. I did my apple cider vinegar rinse, which I can still smell. That's how freaking pungent that mixture is. But I did my apple cider vinegar rinse. I made sure to wash my hair, or I didn't wash it, I didn't cleanse it or anything, but I made sure that I used cool water when working with my hair, because now that my hair is color treated, I have to accommodate for that. And since my hair is red, it bleeds even more. So I guess that could be one tip, to use cool water when working with color treated hair, because hot hair leaches color. So use cool water and then you'll be good to go. So I put my protein treatment on, which is this, the Smoothest Silk Extreme Protein Hair Infusion. It's from the same line of my Deep Moisture Smoothest Silk Deep Conditioner from the Giovanni brand. I put the protein treatment on first, because you want to make sure whenever you do a protein treatment and a deep conditioning treatment like together, because you can do them together, you just want to always make sure that you put your protein on first, because trying to think of the scientific way to say this, but I think it's because your strands have to be within the proper protein structure to accept the moisture properly, something like that. Just make sure that you put your protein on first and then your moisture, because if you put your moisture on first, your hair is gonna be dry. You know, because that's what protein is. It's not to dry your hair out, but it's to make it stronger. And you know, too much protein is a bad thing. Too much protein will cause your hair to be brittle and dry and, you know, break off and stuff. So you need the protein first and then the moisture. But anyway, so let's get started with these tips, because I only have 30 minutes before I have to wash this out. Okay, so tip number 1, we already established, is to use cool water when working with color treated hair, because hot hair leaches color and you want your color to last as long as possible. Alright, tip number 2. This is preparing for color. When you know you're about to color your hair, you should prepare 2 weeks or a week in advance for the treatment, because you are going to chemically process your hair, and your hair needs to be in the best possible state it can be in. A week before, I made sure that I did what I'm doing now, actually, except I did it for longer. I did a protein and conditioning treatment, because when you use permanent dye, you're stripping away a lining or a layer of protein from your hair, so you need to replenish that back into your hair. So before, I just made sure that I was up to date on my protein treatments. So I did a protein treatment, and then I did a deep conditioning treatment right afterwards. Tip number 2 would be that I feel like when working with permanent color, I think that it is best to get it done with a professional. But because I know a lot of ladies that permanently dye their hair at home and their hair is fine. You know, I'm just going to put that out there. I know a lot of people that permanently dye their hair at home and it's fine. They use box dyes and everything. But the thing to remember about box dyes is they aren't as strictly regulated as professional, like, coloring dyes are, because they're just box dyes. You know, anybody can buy them. You know, that box dye could have been sitting on that shelf for 10 years. You don't know. You know, nobody will ever know. I'm sure they're not going to have it on there for 10 years, because I haven't seen the Garnier Nutrice Ultra Color for 10 years. But still, it could be on the shelf for a couple of years, and once those chemicals set on your hair, they're old, they've been sitting for a long time, you know, like, that could seriously damage your hair. Like, seriously, like, to the point where it's falling out or you have to cut it off. So be aware of that before you color. Always make sure you do a strand test. That's the way to know how your hair is going to react. Make sure you do a strand test. But that'd be my tip, like, to maybe go to a professional if you don't really know what you're doing, because you could potentially really damage your hair. So tip number 3, after you get your hair dyed, make sure that you do a wet assessment because you're going to need either protein or moisture, or in my case you're going to need both. So a wet assessment is just, you know, you get in the shower, you have your hair dripping wet, and you just feel the way your hair feels. If it feels like stretchy and gummy and limp, you need protein. But if it feels like rough and like breaks easy and just basically not moving and stuff, it just feels really rough, then you need moisture. And my hair felt like both of them. I was like, ugh, like it was stretchy but rough and hard at the same time. It was matting and it was tangling, which is another sign that you need moisture if it tangles really bad. But yeah, so my hair was just like all over. You need to do a wet assessment, and then you need to figure out if you need protein or if you need deep conditioner or if you need both. Is this a fourth tip? Whatever, I'm just gonna say tips. Okay, you guys, I'm just gonna sit down. I know I had to just like stop in the middle of the video, but I realized that it had been an hour since the protein and the moisture conditioning treatment was on my hair, and you shouldn't really leave protein on your hair for that long. If I show you guys what my hair looks like right out the shower, you can really see it. I don't know how well you guys can see my hair. It doesn't look like you can see it all that well, but it curled back up and stuff. I got some frizzies and everything like normal. But yeah, for the most part, it looks a lot less red in this room. This is my bedroom, not the bathroom. Obviously, the shower curtain. But it looks a lot less red. It looks a lot more orange and rusty color. Oh well, the camera's not gonna focus for me.